Those of you who've been around here for a while know that our bride today is a great favorite of mine. Brittany Cermak has been a favorite of mine her whole life, since her time in day school and youth group and everything else that she's done here at the parish. And that's really a reflection of the fine family of which she is a part. Jim and Mary Ann and their brother son Jake are involved in a variety of things. Anything that the parish needs, they're front and center for it. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you for that. It's a pleasure for me to be here today and a very special day for me to be asked to preside here today and to celebrate with all of you. And you know what? Brittany went out and met a guy from the East Side family that represents exactly what Brittany's family is here on the West Side. They are to the East Side. Father Fred shares with me that they are very significant people and good friends of his from St. Gabriel Parish in Mentor, and that Brian comes from the same seed, breed, and generation as Brittany does, raised in a good Catholic environment, a good family, and how blessed they are to have found one another, and how blessed they have to come from such good families. The scripture readings that they've selected today for their wedding mass tell us something about them. We hear about a couple from the Old Testament beginning their life together. They wanted to do that in a spirit of faith and prayer and celebration. Brittany and Brian could have been married in any number of ways, could have chosen just their witnesses being present, but they've chosen another way. They've asked to come to church, and they've been very particular that everything here at church today reflect their faith, the faith in which they're raised, the faith in which they've committed themselves. Everything is just so, that their faith is very much rooted in what it is that we are doing here today. And I know for all of us that is particularly edifying, so it is a joy for us to be here. And just like that ancient couple long ago began their married life together with a spirit of faith and hope and love, so that's what this couple tells us today. Paul says, you know, you can write poems about love and sing songs. He says, but when you say those three little words, I love you, this is what you mean. And he goes on to list all the qualities of kindness and patience and forgiveness and understanding. And he says, it's only when you strive to live your life with those virtues that you can say to someone, I love you, and truly mean it. And I think today Brian and Brittany tell us that. There are three beautiful words in there. There are in the end three things that last: faith, hope, and love. They have a deep faith, that's reflected in what we're doing here today. They have great hope. God has called them together. They're faithful to His promises, and certainly they are deeply in love with one another. That is clearly evident. You can tell it in the way they look at one another.
Go to 2004, and we went on our very first daddy-daughter date, and we went to go see The Prince and Me, which is a little teen romance comedy movie, and that's where she wanted to go. And so we got all dressed up and went on a real date. And I opened the door for her, and we probably held hands as we walked into the theater, and we had a real date. And over the years, we went on a lot of dates like that. We went on fancy dinners. We went to tribe games. She took me a behind-the-scenes tour at Progressive Field one time. That was awesome. During that whole time, I wanted her to see the same guy that treated her mother the way that I tried to every day. Oh my gosh, here we go. But I wanted her to see that guy. I wanted her to see the guy that respected her mom and was courteous to her mom. I wanted to see the qualities that she needed to pick out in a man. And she found that guy. She found the guy that completely honors and adores her. The more we got to know Brian, the more I felt so good about that choice.
You know how we all have our little quirks in life, little things that make us our own. Brittany has a few of those things, but one of those things, very recognizable, very Brittany. Whenever she gets very excited, her nose tends to flare up quite a bit. She just like, you'd almost think that her nostrils were just gonna fly off her face. It's just Brittany. And Brian seemed to accentuate those flares a bit more than anybody else.
I do just want to take a moment to look at my beautiful best friend. She is gorgeous and the most perfect bride. And then let's not forget Brian, who is quite dapper as well. That is Brittany's #1 pick right there, Hashtag Brit's picks. So Brittany and I have always been the yin to each other's yang, the peanut butter to each other's jelly. So honestly, when Brian came around, I was a little bit hesitant at first. But I do remember the first time meeting you. We were at Panera Bread, but the one thing that really stuck out to me was how at peace and calm Brittany was. She had told me all about Brian and what an amazing man he is and how they met at the tech retreat. Brian, you are such a great guy. You are a basketball coach, a business professional, and most importantly, a devoted man within the Catholic Church. Everything that Brittany has ever wanted and more in a husband. Now seeing you two together, it's hard to imagine a time when you weren't Brittany and Brian.
I think it was one of the first or second times I've met Brittany. We were at St. Robert and Williams for 5 o'clock Mass, and I wasn't able to say hi before, but I had just come home from Walsh. It was for like a long break or something. And right after Mass, we were coming out of the pew. She was standing there with her arms open wide. I still remember this, I'll always remember this. With her big smile on her face. She gave me the biggest hug ever, saying welcome home. And I'm gonna be honest, first thoughts, I'm like, I barely know you, what are you saying, huh? What's going on here? Ever since then, I kind of just knew you were someone special, obviously. Someone special for Brian and vice versa. And that hasn't changed a bit, and that's what I love about Brittany. Every single time I see her, biggest smile on her face, arms open wide with the biggest hug. It's the greatest thing ever. I'm just so happy for you to join our family, for you to be a Liberator.